was a great discussion. I tell you, we really covered some serious ground.
Are we live now?
No.
Oh, well, I have us on stream.
Okay.
Well, it will, it will pick up soon.
Yeah. All right. See. Okay. Right. Winston.
Winston's on mute.
You're not showing mute, but I can't hear you. But you're not showing mute now.
Can you hear me now, Rudy?
Right, I can hear you now. Are you still there? Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, can you hear me though?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Loud and clear.
Right, excellent. So
Hi Laura.
Hello, Winston.
How you doing?
I'm well. It's wonderful meeting you.
It's wonderful meeting you as well. I've been hearing a lot about you.
Rudy is a bridge builder.
He is.
Mm-hmm.
I would even put it further. He's a mountain builder.
Yeah.
Thank you. Right. So I was just thinking. So because this really, I love this video and the feel of it. So in terms of SKR. Yeah.
No, what does SKR stand for?
Souljah, Souljah, Souljah Kingdom Rise.
Ooh.
Right. Looking at you from my screen, it's slightly cutting off the top of your head. So I don't know if you can you move the camera down? But the only thing is, if you move away too far, because of your backdrop, then we lose your image if you're too far away, if you see what I mean. So, tell me.
That's better.
That's better. You can go up, go back up a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's better.
Right. Excellent.
So
I can't see myself.
You can't?
No.
We can see you.
Yeah, we can see you. Okay.
Well, that's good. That's good enough.
Okay. Can you see the video though? You can see the video.
Yes, certainly can.
Okay. Right. So what we're going to do then is that I'll do the intro, and because we're doing it in two sections, so I'll do my little intro. I've also got to recognize one of our young guys for his achievement in this world. In this whole creativity field. So I'm going to be talking about that, and then come over to you, Saint.
Yeah.
And then, what I'm going to do is, when I finish talking about him and his achievements, this young man, as we call fourth or fifth generation rising, then I'll just run the SKR video without saying anything. Then come over to you.
Have you got the next video ready?
Well, the
trailer.
Oh, the trailer. The trailer. Hold on a sec. Yeah, I didn't think of the trailer because I was just thinking SKR, to be honest.
Yeah. The trailer is what I have.
Yeah.
But I'm concerned about the audio. If I can get the audio to work, then we're on. If you'd like to do the trailer, but considering that we're live, I mean, we have. Oh.
I mean, that's just on my phone.
Okay. Yeah, I got it onto the computer here, and I could share my screen if you'd like that.
I mean, mean, I can put it onto my Zoom.
Oh yeah, that's even better, and then people can go from there. All right, cool,
It's
fantastic,
gonna be easy to control.
goody.
Rebirth. It's easier to control it. Right, let me just pick that up. Right, so say if we got the two, we'll have the two videos on.
Yeah.
Which one do you want me to put the Rebirth on first, and then and then play the SKR later? What's your preference? In what order do you want it?
Rebirth. You could go with Rebirth first. I mean, that's cool because Rebirth is what started. It started the whole project anyway.
Right. Okay. So I can ask you just talk about that then.
Yes.
So when I finish doing the talk, I'm gonna run it straight introduce you.
Yeah.
Well, no, just run it straight into Rebirth.
Right.
When it finishes, then say, Winston, you're the man behind this. Tell us a story. Do you know what I mean? 'Cause I don't want to say much because it's you giving everything on that.
No problem.
And then, and when you've done that, then Laura comes in. Laura can then come on based on what you've been saying.
Yeah.
And then when Laura's done that bit, then I'll run SKR.
Yeah.
Then you'll give the story behind SKR.
Yeah.
And then Laura will then come in on that then.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, so you okay with that, Laura?
Oh yes, and those considering that the whole plan of attack is live, it's wonderful. It's just like behind the scenes, it's just telling us how it's all done.
Yeah, it reminds me of the days when we'd be watching and we'd see all these other people controlling all this stuff.
Yeah.
Us being forced to watch anything that they told us. This is what you have to watch.
This is what you have to watch. This is what you have to watch.
Yeah. When we look back now. Right, let me just check this Rebirth that it's gonna play on the Zoom.
Winston, in general, I'm very excited. This is just making me want to talk to you, but I'm restrained. I can't say anything until I get the cue.
Well, we will have some kind of private talk.
We will have our dial. Yes, that's what my hope is. Yes,
Definitely.
yes.
So I'll drop each of your numbers on the
Yeah.
and you can sort out from there.
Okay.
That's
There I am.
There you are.
It's because I had it on the other screen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's me not knowing what I'm doing. I've just learned all of this as I've gone along, This must work. Well, try that. That didn't work. We'll try that. Alright, let me just see. Why didn't I? Okay. Rebirth. Alright, I downloaded the wrong video.
You sure?
Yeah. No, I've got the right one now. Alright, let's do this again.
You're not live yet, are you?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, that was interesting. As soon as he got up, that it went away. It's almost like it was planned.
Sorry, I missed that.
As soon as he got up, the music came on. I was like, I wonder if did you make that happen just now?
Yeah, so this is a short one. This is 1 minute 40.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is a short one.
Okay. Cool.
It's not on my screen, you know that?
Huh?
It's not on my screen.
So you're not seeing it?
No, not yet. We're not seeing it yet. But you're still setting up for it, yeah?
Well, no, I'm showing it now, so you can hear it, but you can't see it.
That's right. We have to share screen.
Oh yeah, yeah. It would help if I shared the screen. Yeah.
That's why they say two edits better than one.
Well, you know how that is.
I wouldn't have worked that one out because, as far as I'm concerned, it's supposed to work.
Mm-hmm.
Right, let's have a look here. Okay.
There we go. That's it. So are you showing now or are you testing now?
No, I'm showing that. So
Okay, fantastic.
you can see it, everybody else can see it.
Yep. We're all in.
Excellent. So I can drop that down there.
Ooh.
You never told me 2 months ago I would be a broadcaster, producer, and all these things.
Engineer, everything.
This is like bread that it just came out of the oven that we can't touch because it's too hot. You know, it's just it's not right, man. It's not right that you're doing this.
Right. So when I go back to meeting like that, okay, all right, that's fine. So I leave. Right. So the thing is not to touch or change anything.
That's fine. We're good with this. This is okay. We can chat. And people could be like, "What's that black screen right there?"
Exactly. Keep your fingers off of everything.
It's so funny.
That's right. So what I'm going to do now is go Facebook Live. Right. Okay. So you ready?
Oh yeah, we've been ready like Freddy.
Yeah, we're all ready.
Right. Okay. We got 30 minutes from now. And so I'm going Facebook Live right now, and we are off.
We need like an hour.
Yeah, we do.
We do, but we've got a 9 o'clock.
I know.
Yeah, we've got a 9 o'clock. So.
Well, we still could do 45.
Yeah, it'd be tight. Yeah. Okay. Let's do that.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what
I'll
happens.
tell you what I can do. If I tell her now to come on at 9:15, 15 minutes later, just because it gives us that bit of time.
Yeah.
Because it won't matter as long as the next person knows that not to come on then on 9. So I will just quickly send the message. So we've got 45 minutes basically clear.
Okay.
So I'm curious. You mentioned something about a youngster that is that's done something in this space.
Yeah. He's just generally in terms of he's done well in his creative work, and out of 200 people he was selected for. They were only taking 50 people, and he got into that group for his creative work. So we just want to acknowledge him. Right, I'm going to actually ask her to log on at 3:30 p.m. So give us just that window of an hour, and we need a break in between each one. So we're going to go for an hour, okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay. Let's just get this right.
My poor audience is salivating at the mouth.
Okay, I'm on my. It's on its way, right? Okay. Once I take my glasses off, we're definitely on the way.
Okay, it's off. That's it. The glasses are off. Everybody, glasses are off. We're in.
Glasses off.
See, Winston knows the score. He got his glasses. He was ready, and then it was time. That's it. It's over. Glasses off. That's it.
What part of America are you, Laura?
I live in the South at the moment, but I was born in the wonderful state of Boston, Massachusetts. That's where the New England Patriots are, and the Boston Celtics, which are doing so well right now.
Oh, wow.
And then the Red Sox and the Bruins. You can tell I kind of like sports just a little bit.
Yeah, I love my football. I haven't got into American football yet.
I like rugby.
Yeah, I'm not too keen on rugby.
I've never been too much grappling from man for me. That game.
Yeah.
Never really been into rugby.
Funny enough, I just never know what's going on in rugby.
No.
Exactly. Right. Okay. So people will be able to hear us now if we speak. So we're now going live.
Hi.
Recording in progress.
Good evening, everybody. Once again, welcome to our series of dialogues relating to our World Intellectual Property Day. And intellectual property refers to creations of the mind, inventions, literary, artistic works, and symbols, names, images, and designs that are used in commerce. And I'm so pleased, once again, we've got Dr. Laura Thompson from Lighthouse Broadcasting, and our special guest for this session is Winston Hislop, CEO of Aqua Blue Games, and we're going to hear a lot about Souljah Kingdom Rise and the rebirth of Nani, a Maroon Warrior. So, good evening, both.
Hello.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Great to see you. I just would like to start with just talking about a young man called Iman Sampson, who's done very well in his creative work. He managed to be part of a project for 50 young people, and there were 200 applications. And Iman managed to get into that group with his excellent work. And Iman Sampson describes himself as an emerging multidisciplinary producer. He's based in London. He says he's determined to create diverse and multicultural content for generations and communities through short films, documentaries, and digital platforms. And for him, it was a dream come true because he started working on a website called Story Trails. So you can just go to that website, Story Trails, and he's been interested in telling factual stories, sharing tales from underrepresented groups, whilst capturing the unseen aspects of their lives. And again, for him, it's about his ambition to be able to tell the stories of those topics that matter to communities. Also to learn from industry experts and their partners. And what he describes as through a magical experience, we can build our sense of belonging to the places we live and help us all to shape a more positive future. And so I think that's great sentiments, and you can hear the values of that young man. And very well done, Iman. And
I have a question. Is it storytrails.co.uk or is it .com or what's the? Do you know the extension?
If you try either. And
Okay.
just see what
All right.
happens.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Iman.
Thank you very much. Congratulations, Winston Hislop. Tell us the story behind that video.
That was a dramatic end for you, Winston. You just kind of fell out after the. After the video.
Funny enough, the thing is, I don't know, Rudy, I've never seen that one before, actually. It's, it's weird. Robbie must have been doing different things. Anyway, right. Good evening, everyone who is listening at the moment and who will be listening later on. The story behind the Souljah Kingdom Rise. Now, this is something that started through a record. Would you believe it? I'm a recording artist, and you know, I've had my share of success in the music business, and I decided to do a final album, which was 4 years ago. When I did the album, I did a track on the album called Souljah. Now, my co-producer, he is an animator. That's what he does. So he suggested it to me. I was saying, can I do a video of this? I wasn't too keen at first off because, you know, I'm a bit old school. You know, I do videos. I don't do animation videos. Anyway, I said, yeah, you know, invention. Let's see how it works. And he did the video, and a part of the video is in what you just shown a minute ago, Rudy. And he uses me as the avatar, the leading actor in the video. But what he did, he put two girls with me, one white, one black. And when the video was finished, I started to send it to people to have a look at it, and everyone coming back to me with the same thing. Saying that looks like a video game. That looks like a video game. So then the penny dropped for me. And I said, I want to renovate myself in doing something completely different from music. I've been doing music all my life. I want to do something different. And the game thing come along, but I wanted a story. I wanted, you know, I didn't just want, come up with an idea and, let's make a game. I know everything starts from a good story. And I begin to write. Well, not straight away, because I wasn't ever a writer. And this is the amazing thing. I never written a book before. The most I've ever written is a song. And COVID came in, and I said, I need to write this story myself. And I've written the story, but I've written it in a screenplay style, not in a book form. And but within the SKR story, within the Souljah Kingdom Rise story, I embodied the story with some reality. Now, Nanny of the Maroons was my reality within that story. And I think then the ancestors just came to me during all that time and said to me, you need to write Nanny's story. And it just struck me, and I started to write the story. But what I needed to do, I needed to write her story from my perspective, because she's such an iconic woman. She is such a powerful woman. She's one of my national hero. She's on my $500 bill. So I needed to create something, because the British never leave us with anything on this woman, just synopsis of her. And I always know that if you're gonna get the interest of someone in something, you gotta give them a story. You gotta give them something to read about, and that effect now happening, because I've got people, white, black people coming up to me and said, "Wow, I didn't know nothing about Nanny until you write about her." So I'm achieving my goal in spreading her name across the world. And when I finished wrote the book, it was, I was going through, the hustling of trying to get the investment to start the game, because the game was my key. The game is important, very important. And then the book came out and started to do well, and having people giving me good reviews on it, and that was kind of a shocking thing for me as well, because I've never written a book before, and everyone is coming to tell me how brilliant this book is. And then I knew that I need to transform Souljah Kingdom Rise now into a book, into a novel, into something special. And I'm glad to say I completed that book on Sunday. God. So I've just done 2 books in less than a year.
Yeah.
But Souljah Kingdom Rise is something that I wanted to create a story that has never been told before.
So before we go to Souljah,
Right.
let's get Laura's perspective on the rebirth, first of all.
Okay.
In terms of what she's seen. So Laura.
Well, first of all, I want to applaud you because of your intention to bring back some history, some cultural history,
Yes.
and your perspective of that. That is extremely important going forward, even into the from a game developer as well, all the way to the Metaverse and Web3 space. In a lot of cases, building communities, which is, we are on this platform, and I think the main theme is this not only building communities, but creating something that keeps people engaged, and beyond that, with their culture. Regardless of who you are, whether you're in Web 1, 2, or 3, wherever, people want to see themselves, see something about themselves somewhere. As far as people from Caribbean descent, we have traveled all over the world. You could find You can find Jamaicans everywhere.
Everywhere.
I've been around the world.
Everywhere.
Every single where.
We are everywhere. And so that being said, to be able to create something that even unites culture that have I don't want to say been scattered, because some of us have left for
Yes.
because we've chosen to leave, but this thing has the potential to pull communities together based off of a culture, whether you believe in it or whether you don't. You can't negate that it exists.
Yes.
And so that's for the people that are a part of the culture. Never mind the people that didn't know anything about.
Anything around it. Yeah.
So then all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute. So you got a dual situation happening. You have a culture that is scattered that will see these soldiers rising per se, and they know the story because they're about it. Whether they know the story, they know about the Maroons. They know, okay, that's something connected to us, right? And then you have the educational piece that is already there. So that in and of itself is ingenious. The other part that I want to say is ingenious before I let it go is the fact that you went ahead and you wrote a book about it. Ingenious. That's usually not done. That's not done. But that needs to be the approach when we are talking about real intellectual property.
Thank you. Yes,
It needs to be the approach if you're trying to have something that's a lasting effect. There needs to be some tangible content that has been registered somewhere beyond just the nice pretty little images that you flash onto the internet and everybody no, this has been in the making. So that's what I'll say on this segment. Thank you for doing that, and congratulations so far.
Thank you, Dr. Laura.
Because what we're saying, in the 22nd century, somebody will pick up this book. This old book, this old geezer.
Yeah.
How many generations ago? And he wrote about,
I mean, you have talk about rebirth. You have revitalized yourself. Okay, I don't care when you got out of the music industry. You're back in it again with your own product. Okay, I'm sorry. Just
and you know the thing about it is that Rebirth, a Maroon Warrior, which is the Nanny story, that's about 450 years from Souljah Kingdom Rise.
Before Souljah.
Right, but it's connected. It's a connected story.
Cultural communication.
yeah.
Goes across generations. So
Goes across
boundaries.
There's no boundaries. It goes across generations.
Yeah, Nanny's not just some random warrior that you're having to recreate. You're having to create, and she has no context. No, she has historical context, and it is connected to a culture.
A culture,
and it's spiritual.
Yeah,
that's why it can go from generation
to generation. Oh yeah, definitely. And you know, the way it's never been brought out. I mean, Dr. Laura, if you read the book, you will say the same thing that everyone says that read the book. I'm watching a film. I'm watching a movie here. You know, and because I'm a storyteller. I'm not an academic. I'm a storyteller, and I'm very good at that because I've been doing it from a very, very young age, telling stories. You know, I'm a movie buff. I'm crazy about movies. I love movies. So I've been watching movies from I'm 7 years old and never stop. So I've watched thousands of films. So creating Souljah Kingdom Rise, that helps me because I could stay totally original with this story. Something that has never been done before. You know, nobody has ever written Jamaica 2093. You understand what I'm saying? It's just, and the way I had to do it is to keep Jamaica, but then making Jamaica a first world country. In that time.
Well, it's in worlds verses. You mean like a verse? You can create whatever world you want in a metaverse environment, and you can make whatever culture be whatever it needs to be in a metaverse environment. So it's just a fit.
Oh, this is where the vision comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
That's
yes,
the vision, isn't it?
yes. It definitely is the vision.
To the future. You say, right, this is what we could be. This is what Marcus Garvey said, isn't it?
Yes, I mean, when Souljah Kingdom Rise, it was created with a multicultural as well narrative. I wanted to give it that, Princess Amali. She's from South Africa, from the and what do I call it? Each soldiers are coming from a bloodlines of warriors. Princess Amali is coming from Shaka Zulu bloodline. Akan is coming from Nani bloodline. And Isini is coming from Bodicea bloodline. So all three warriors are coming from warrior bloodlines. Now Katumi, who is the one that brought the Isorics to this planet, he's coming from a planet called Eden. And Eden is got, it's almost, I'm trying to tell you the story that we're the first people. Because Eden is so advanced. Eden is without time, the story is so explosive.
It's powerful.
It's powerful. It's powerful because it's not, when you read it or when you see the story, it takes you different places. It's not just on one thing or one subject. It takes you different places. And you will be surprised because it starts with Akan being in the army. And then it moves to Akan being a gangster. Now, the story will take you on the trail of how that becomes. But then, he's now fighting against a system which is very corrupted. On the other hand, the gangsters wants to kill him. Now, what he has to do is to try and unite the gangsters because they got one common enemy, which is Magna, coming for the Isorics. And he's coming from a planet called Luminous Prime. And he is terrifying. Now, just imagine, this Isorics was landed in the cockpit mountain of Jamaica, founded by a maroon warrior that gives her the power to fight the English. But the way I have done it within the books, you don't know it's the Isorics in the Rebirth book. But when you read Souljah Kingdom Rise, then you say, oh, this is how the story is. Oh, its story never ends. It just continues. It's such a blasting story. It's fantastic. It's hard. you have to see it and read it to really.
What you're describing, what I would say, interpretation. There's a cultural interconnection.
Oh yeah.
Between the books.
Oh yeah.
Which that definitely is very rare.
Oh yeah. I keep that. That culture, is, you've got Ma, who run HSC, ISF Command, which is the command post that controls the soldiers, and she's Chinese, but she was born in Jamaica.
Of course.
Now she's got a daughter, which I introduce later on in the book, and her name is Anchi, but she was born in Shanghai. because Ma was sent to Shanghai to go to university, met someone there, get married, and but oh gosh, the story is it's a never-ending story. But as you know, Rudy, and to explain to Dr. Thompson, is the game is the key for this story. I mean, it could be even the film, but the game for me is the thing that is going to take this story, Souljah, SPR story, this universe that we've created with a fantastic team of people. And these people, they're just brilliant. At some point they'll be introduced. But we put this thing together so good. But we also know that we're going to have a lot of roadblocks to get it where it's supposed to go. We know that. We accept that, but we are fighters. We know how to fight. We know how to stay with it and endure, and because we know it's a long process. It's not a short process. And making a game, it takes a lot of money. So we are working with different people and trying to get to a level where we can say, okay, this is Souljah Kingdom Rise. Even a demo, this is Souljah Kingdom Rise. And I know for certain, because I've had my success. Rudy, I've had many success over the years. I keep going, for the last 35 to 40 years. I keep going, powerfully going, keep making records. One of my last records was #1 in the Philippines for 3 months, top 40 in the UK. So I always keep renovating myself and having some form of success with it.
Absolutely.
But I think this is the top of the pyramid for me.
Absolutely.
This is
I'd like Laura to give a perspective on the gaming and the gaming world and the importance again.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, again, I do want to applaud you, because I want to say that maybe the music career was more about the artist and the artist's struggles and the challenges and the story from the perspective of the artist, but this project is about a culture.
Of course.
And so I don't know where you are in terms of tokens or token economy, but the idea that this game has both the educational component as well as the unification of a culture is one where you should, if you haven't already, you should consider tokens. When I see amusement park, I already see an exchange. Let's say, and so I'm going to go on an innovative trip for a second. Let's say the amusement park is really designed to help bring energy to countries that don't have power. So every time people go on the rides are generating energy. Then you're possibly talking about this amusement park not only being a fun ride, but it can become a utility. Your utility bills. So you have a really big opportunity from the standpoint of, and again, you probably already did this. You do not have to say on this public platform where you are with the tokenization, but I'm just throwing out some things. So let's say that your main warriors are something that you decide you want to tokenize. As people are, and thanks for showing this again. As people ride this particular ride, I mean, it's so amazing because you have the concept of these soldiers, and I guess they are the kingdom is actually arising as and it could be something to the and throwing this out too. It could be something to the degree of where every time somebody rides this, about 6 more soldiers are created. I mean, that's just like a literal interpretation of how you can actually build soldiers, build this rising in a literal sense, and then actually take the tokenomics associated with that and still use it as a utility. I mean, you have pyramids around. You could easily will have power plants around. Whatever that story needs to be, it can be incorporated in something like this. And again, you don't need to say where you are in terms of tokens or anything like that. But to go from, they're rising for a reason, right?
Yes.
Nani is coming back into the picture for a reason. And I think from an inspirational standpoint, again, wherever people are with this particular story, whether they're into it or they're not, there is something to be said about about rising.
Yeah.
I think every culture has had a rising from the ashes type of story. And the fact that this is actually tied to a historical context, again, I just applaud you for what you're intending to do. You've aligned it with a book. The book could be a coloring book. It could be a workbook. It could be education. It could be anything. And tokens all in and all around this to build your token economy up. And even NFTs from that standpoint, so that, once you've and you probably have already thought about this, so no worries. But I'm just mentioning this for the masses that might be listening and watching. When we are in this space and we have opportunity to present a historical context, it can benefit from the standpoint of education to help people build this economy, build this knowledge base. And whereas you're thinking of it as a game, somebody would look at you and be like, "Oh, he's not playing. It's not a game. This is serious." because you have receipts. You have receipts on this. In other words, you've done the legwork. This is not like you're not a novice. You're not brand new to this discussion, and so it's important. It's important. Culture is important. Where you come from is important. And that's really what the main message is, whether people subscribe to it or not. Where you come from is important, and people that have taken the time today to establish something that is easily transferable to the now future, which is the Web3 environment. It's about tokenization, it's about blockchain, it's about building this economy so that it can fuel something else and be a real utility and not just a game. That's the educational piece that the kids walk away with.
Yes.
And of course, all cultures begin from humble origins.
Yeah.
And then it's people who then visualize something much greater than
Themselves.
Spiritually, the environment, the physical environment where they find themselves. However many generations it takes, that vision never changes. So what you're established here, what we would call evolution becomes visible, as we call it. That's what you're translating when we're communicating. That's part of cultural communication.
That's right. I wanted to do something special for my people. I mean, for something that everyone would accept, but it's for my people. This is us. We created this. And through my life, I've entertained all different kind of people, all race, all manner of race of people. You know, I've been around the world doing it. So I know a lot of culture. But Jamaica have a culture, such a rich culture, that the island is so small, but then it's so big. It makes so much noise around the world, but it doesn't have anything like this. And this is what I want to give, you know. I'm also talking about, you know, having an academy, you know, a technology academy, where kids can come and learn about technology. And, you know, got the name for it already. So, but starting with the book was the key for me, and the two books, as Laura mentioned earlier on, you can't get a better intellectual property in signature than a book, because nobody can take your story there. You know, when this book goes into the British Library, it's sealed. You know what I'm saying? Someone want the story, they have to go to the British Library first.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling proud of what I've done in the last 3 years. But I know that I've got a lot of work to do. I really do know, and having the right people around me to make this work, that's the key. Having the right team of people, that's the key for me. I'm a team player, and I know this can be one of the biggest franchise to go. If I don't believe that, then please, might as well I go to Jamaica and just go and sit on the beach and live the rest of my life out. But I do believe that this can take the world. Yeah. And I do believe they need something like this right now. You know, in terms of its originality, and where it can go. I see this going on for the next 30 years.
Yeah, we feel the vision.
Yes.
So just before we close, I'm going to ask Laura to wrap up for us with her perspective.
Well, again, I definitely applaud you for your efforts. There's so many things that that can happen, and there's so many things that you've already done that's already happening. If I were you, I wouldn't be surprised if people decided to come to you for their own story development, their own gaming development. I mean, you said you have a team. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if there were people that would not be interested in coming to you and having something like that happen. So I guess they're just going to have to come back to this broadcast, and with hopes to see you again and to see your development. I mean, this is definitely a way to have that downward accountability, where you know, it's not like you're waiting on people to try it out, but you're informing them, and that information also builds communities and has people be genuinely interested in the development. It's also very encouraging. A lot of people during the pandemic, again, pandemic just pushed people back, and so to see what folks are coming up with during the pandemic, it's just amazing, and probably a long time coming. You know, you know. There are plenty of other stories that I think can stem out of something like this. You know, just consider. I mean, you Rudy said this was spiritual, and so we have to now maybe build on what all this means, how it comes into play. And again, there's something so rich and foundational about the story, I wouldn't be surprised. Hopefully, you kept track of how you did everything that you did, because that in and of itself is like consulting 101. Because people will, yeah, the making of Rebirth, the book, the outline of how did you develop the book, like, was it just because of the, it wasn't just because of the last album, and it really wasn't just because the co-producer asked you if they could do a video. Obviously there's something else going on that you get to retain and put out there for the future. Again, a lot of different, I see a lot of different groups. I mean, for all of the Asian based groups that are in Jamaica, they all have an introduction somewhere of how the Indians, the true Indians that are in Jamaica, they have a story. And so there's even a story about tea. Why are you drinking tea in hot Jamaica? Well, because that has a story as to how it got in there. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, what about jerk? How did jerk come into the discussion? What are the ingredients of jerk, and why are we doing this now? Why is the food so hot and spicy? I mean, there's all of it adds to the diaspora of who we are as a people from Jamaica, and it should be documented. One other thing that I will mention, maybe about 2 years ago during the pandemic, I became interested in the records from the ships. As people came over on the ships, and the names and and so it had me search the databases in Jamaica to find out the different slave owners, how they chose to document who came over and from where. And more importantly, how did the naming convention of the plots of land align with the name of the actual slave owner? And it enables people and their families to be traced but you call it third world if you want to. But that was the beginning of relational databases, sir.
Of course it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's interesting to choose any story. Choose any story. Okay, you may not be into the Maroons, fine. Choose any story, but you'll tie it back to the origins of that particular culture, and then build something.
Land of origin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Build something.
Yeah.
And that's where we are. We're back in the building phase right this second. We may have exhausted Web 2.0 from the standpoint of corruption and the other things that are going on with it.
We could use the Ghanaian word Sankofa.
Yeah. So, again, we may have exhausted one of the platforms, and now we're forging our way into something else. And so,
well, and as the program now is about intellectual property, this is something that I decided that I have to do in terms of how I set up games. And it's the intellectual property of my publishing, of my animation, of the game, of the book, of the theme park, of the characters that I'm creating. So it's so much that, comics, there's so much within SKR, Souljah Kingdom Rise. It's mind-blowing. And
I think I described it as a universe the other day.
As a universe, I'm saying there's so much. I mean, the story just goes on and on. I'm getting ready now to start writing. I see this story, which everyone think that it should be a trilogy of books that I write. So
it's going to be more than a trilogy. A trilogy is limiting. Okay, I mean,
Yes.
Because and here's the thing, there's a historical context, but then you're building this verse with which it can function. You're building outside of the current limits, the current constraints.
That's right.
And so
That's
that
right.
enables the story to really have the rebirth and go forward or forge forward into the future.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And it's funny. I didn't plan to start the project with Rebirth. It all just happened. God is great. God is great, and
Yes, He is.
Our ancestors they're still hang around. They're still here telling us, whispering in our ears, telling us what to do. I do believe that. I do believe that strongly. So yes, Dr. Laura, it's been an honor, and we will have a conversation off air at some.
Well, Winston, the pleasure is all mine. Again, it's to even consider doing a project of this nature. I mean, and the thing that's really comfortable is that all of us on this platform right now, we've all written, we've all published. I'm a publisher. We know the business already. So now let's get to creating. Let's get to creating something that has some punch, some relevance, some some proper jerk seasoning. You know what I'm saying? Just
Economic value.
value.
Even
Yes.
though I'm gonna disappoint you there in a little bit, because 2093, they stopped jerking in Kingston. You only can get it in the countryside.
Oh, good.
Oh yeah.
No. Okay, no. This is extra. See, now, no, this is important. Let me tell you why this is important, Rudy. Because I went to Trelawney the other day, right? And I was so disappointed that I saw these mangoes from another nation, from another place there during East Mango season. I'm like, no, we had to do what? Go to the countryside to get the mango.
And we talk about community economic tourism.
See, I would get a token. Look, I would get a token in 2093 to get a proper mango from the countryside instead of getting mangoes from Miami. Woo! Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going there. I'm sorry.
I really should have gone out with
Woo.
if it's even half of the chapter of Rebirth. I should have read that within this program.
There's always part 2.
No, at least part 2.
Part 3,
Part N. Part N. Yeah.
There's no limits.
But Doctor, I'll get the book sent to you anyway.
Yeah.
I was gonna just find it and buy it anyways. I wasn't waiting on you. I was just gonna go get it myself. Please. Yeah. 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 Awesome.
When Dr. Laura's got the book, we will do something on Rebirth.
Okay.
Yay.
I've read it the other day, and there's lots of questions in there. It's just that we haven't had the time to speak.
Okay.
It's quite.
Again, congratulations. I mean,
It's an 18 rating,
Awesome.
actually, I think. Rebirth.
Well, it's an 18 ring. A white lady said it to me the other day. She said to me, "Oh God, I love your book, but it's I got a lot of violence in it." And I said, "Well, if slaves are fighting for their freedom, you're gonna have violence, and that is what I couldn't get away from. I couldn't get away from that, because she's fighting. She's in a battle of her life, and well, probably might be script.
We'll make sure it will be available for 12 plus.
Oh yeah, I mean we can tone it down. We can tone it down at the time, but I've got to be real. If I'm writing a story, I've got to be real, and that's real for me. Gosh, I've seen it. It's real. But yeah, great, fantastic.
Just like to
divide and rule. So if we're divided, there's no way we're gonna get there. So I'm a collaborator. I'm a team player. So let's do it. We are the right people. We've got the right mentality. What's wrong in us doing it? What's wrong in us being the first black companies to create a AAA game? That's my aim.
And
that's my aim.
You know what I say? To will the ends is to will the means.
It's exactly.
And that's what we're doing. We're willing the means.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. All right, guys.
All right. Thank you.
It's beautiful, and thanks to all the people out there who are listening to us this evening, this afternoon, this evening, and look out for Souljah Kingdom Rise.
Do you just want to confirm where people can get Rebirth, the book, as it is out?
Well, you can get Rebirth on Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah, Rebirth, a Maroon Warrior, Winston Islam. And you also can check out the website, which is Aqua Blue Games at
Is it co.uk?
Yes.
Aqua Blue Games at co.uk.
Aqua Blue Games, it'll come up.
It will just come up, yeah.
Aqua Blue!
All right, guys. You guys take care. Doctor, I'll speak to you soon, yeah?
Congratulations so far.